Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Good.
So today we are talking about the HVC La Rosa 520 Reyes. This is a Toroish cigar, so 6 1/4 by 48 ring gauge. Comes out of the Tabsa factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Nicaraguan Corojo 99, and the binder and filler are both from Nicaragua. Blended by Rainier Lorenzo, and price point is $11.80. Cigar was released in July of 2016. So with all the cigar details out of the way, let's get into our experience. So June, what was your pre-light experience like?
First to look at the cigar, I thought the wrapper shade was in between like a Colorado Claro to like a Colorado Maduro shade wrapper.
Mhm.
Um, the entire cigar had like a uniform, slight lumpiness. And aside from that, veins well pressed, seams look pretty tight. The cigar felt super weighty, and kind of feeling it through my fingers. It was really packed full of tobacco, and hopefully, I was thinking, I won't have any construction issues with that. Head finish off well with the well here triple cap. Moving on to the nosing experience. Nosing the wrapper, I got wet earth, barnyard. Nosing the foot, black pepper, cedar, dry nuttiness. When I did the cold draw, I got some dry cardboard, lip tingling, dried black pepper, and some aged cedar. So all in all, a good presented pre-light experience.
Yeah, wrapper was a lighter brown, a couple of medium-sized veins that were present. Seams were nearly invisible, that because they were so well blended. The three well-applied caps. Top one looked like it was twisted off, twisted and then kind of pulled off and then just folded over. A single simple band, primarily red, gold, and white, has the company and the line name on it. Aroma from the wrapper was like a faint, sweet barnyard. Foot aroma was like a mild cherry sweetness. Pre-light draw brought graham cracker note, and a little bit of a slightly spicy tingle to my lips. So getting into flavor, what was your experience like?
Initial flavors, got toasted wood, creamy nuttiness, dry white pepper, like a spicy, dry jalapeno on the tip of my tongue. So spicy heat, in other words. Half inch in, I started getting like a sharp vegetal note, along with a decrease in the white pepper and the heat. So that heat, dissipated pretty fast. And when that happened, I thought the profile was more distinctive in creaminess, kind of I deemed it as like a 2% milk, sort of a body consistency of the creaminess. Inch and a half in, I started getting barnyard, and that gave it it was like a wet barnyard, so it was like a wet earthiness to it.
Mhm.
On the retro, dry wood, creamy nuttiness, slight dry white pepper. Finish medium in length. Got some slight wood creaminess and dry wood, as well as a dry minerality. Uh, Body and strength, medium within the first third. Moving on to the second third, a few notable changes. First, I immediately noticed the strength increasing from medium to like a medium full. Um, and then second, there's a huge drop of pepper for me, about like 70% or so from the beginning of the cigar. And I felt like the spice drop kind of brought the creaminess and that nuttiness forth a little bit more. And then lastly, as I started getting a wood bitterness that was creeping up, and not in a bad sense, because I kind of felt like with the wood bitterness that it possessed, it gave like a dry earthiness that I enjoyed. Aside from these things, still the same. Through the nose, preferred amount of dry white pepper, dry wood, creamy nuttiness. Finish still medium length, with wood creaminess, dry wood, dry minerality. Body was still medium. Moving on to last third, it's for the most part no changes from the second third. Still faint white pepper, wood bitterness, dry wood, barnyard toastiness. The wood bitterness does fight for the dominant flavor, and it kind of teeters back and forth between that wood bitterness and that creamy aspect of it. And then I started kind of getting that spicy heat back on the rear palate, but that was in more of an intermittent fashion. Um, so aside from that, I mean, no changes at all with the last third. So all in all, the first third was just absolutely the best part of the cigar for me.
Hmm.
And then the last two thirds, I don't know what happened. It was there was a lot of steam in the beginning, but it kind of tapered down.
Yeah. Yeah, initial draws for me brought very full cinnamon in the mouth and on the retrohale. And then after a few draws, that cinnamon settled down a bit and let some of the woodiness show that was in the background. A quarter inch in, cinnamon settled down quite a bit more, and the wood became about even with the cinnamon. Retrohale was still dominated by the cinnamon there. And then 3/4 of an inch, and the cinnamon has moved to the background, and the wood moved up front and had a nice creamy note that was joining in. Inch and a quarter, cream leaves the profile. Wood becomes a little bit drying. Cinnamon is in the background. And then as the third came to close, the wood was a little less drying, and the cinnamon had come completely gone away from the profile, and the strength was right at medium. Getting the second third, that drying wood profile kind of continued. And then a quarter inch in, the wood became more defined as a slightly spicy cedar. Retrohale also carrying that slightly spicy cedar note, but there was also a little bit of cream that was present. Half inch in, cedar transitions to oak. There's a little bit of bitterness there. Inch and a half in, a little slightly drying oak with a little bitterness still remains, and that's kind of how the third finished. And the strength was still at medium. And then getting into the final third, oak with a little bit of bitterness remained, a little bit of minerality joined into the profile. And then at 3/4 of an inch in, that bitterness and the minerality both bumped up, to be even with the oak. And that's pretty much how the cigar finished out. And the strength bumped up a little bit to just be slightly above medium. So getting into performance, burn and draw, what was your experience like?
Very good burn, very good draw. 2 hours and 23 minutes out of this cigar, this Toro Witch size cigar, which is really good. Burn line, although it was never super sharp, it burned the entire way through without me having to touch up or relight. Ashes are a little bit flowery, but it held out strong, and I got about a good 1.5 inch increment ash marks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Draw was a little snug for me, and that made me want to focus on it at times. But it's all in all, it's a minor gripe. The cigar never heated up or anything, so I don't put any fault to it really.
Yeah. Burn line for me was slightly wavy, but it always kept up with itself. And the ash was a little bit flaky, but it was holding on 1 inch increments. It didn't like drop off a ton, but you get a little piece here and there that was kind of just falling off as I was smoking along. Draw had just the right amount of resistance I prefer, so it was perfect for me. I didn't really have any issues with draw at all. So, what were your overall thoughts on the cigar?
Overall, I rated this, the experience as a good. Um, there's some cigars where I really look forward to it. This is one of them, and the reason being is because uh, people that really know my palate, one of the things I really enjoy is Aganorsa tobacco, and especially their use of Corojo. Um, and B, my understanding is Rainier kind of has this cigar as kind of like his like a cream of the crop kind of a cigar, right? Like it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is one of his cigars that he like really was passionate about. I mean, he's passionate about all cigars, I'm sure,
Right.
but I think this is more of like a uh, quote unquote like limited edition sort of a thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I really had a lot of high hopes. But the first third show, like I was kind of talking about earlier, it shows so much promise. It has so much, things going on. But the last two thirds just absolutely fell flat. Although it was still good for the last two thirds, it was not very good. I expected very good.
Right.
I had hopes for very good. Perhaps I caught it smoking it in a funky state, right? Uh, Perhaps time will tell if the cigar will kind of bounce back and be more like the first third of the whole thing. Um, Through my smoking experience, I find that Aganorsa tobacco does age pretty well. So I want to do a redo on this one and see what it offers down the road. But for now, I'll still smoke it, but not going to go run out and buy boxes of it.
Right. Yes, like you said, the cigar started with a really good profile. Just for me getting into the second, third, things just became very linear. Linear can be okay, if the profile has a really good set of flavors, but I just thought the flavors here were kind of average. I'd really like to revisit it, same as you were saying, just to see if I have a different experience from the sample I smoke, but maybe it's a little bit of time that needs to happen there. Strength profile is right around medium, so I think most smokers would be fine with it. But I'll definitely revisit it. But just kind of how it stands right now, it's not going to be something I'm chasing down. So getting into scores, you gave it a 7.33. I gave it a 6.20. How do you think your score matched up with the profile?
So 733 kind of tells me um, in this scenario, overall good flavor deliveries, compounded by very good construction, which is exactly what I rated it. And overall, that was my good score. So I'm good with that score. I like the that other one, the San Isidro that he did.
Yep.
That was his highlight of the year for me. But this one didn't quite match up to that.
Yeah, my score matches up. Good first third, and then kind of things fell down after that. Just didn't hit my wheelhouse. But I'll revisit it just to see if it's something that I missed, or if age will do a little bit better for my palate. But otherwise, that's the score that matches with what I experienced. So, any final thoughts from you?
No, I still have a kind of a soft heart for Rainier and HVC. I still remember that first one, man. I smoked it.
Yep.
I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yep.
What is that one called? HVC.
Did the El Cerro?
No, it was like a Corona or like a
I think it was the original like HVC the city.
yeah, the city.
So
I smoked it and I was like, "Holy shit, what is this? This is
yeah,
really good."
yeah,
In fact, I don't even know what the heck Aganorsa tobacco was or any of that stuff.
right, right.
So in essence, I basically smoked it blind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh, and we'll see what next year brings for him. But go San Isidro.
Yep. Well, thank you for watching. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but go to the website, developingpalates.com, to read the full written review. Also, follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.